Hey, this is Mad Movie Mark with the Mad Movie Mark Movie Review. Thank you for joining me as I review the 1933 film noir romance Babyface.
And I needn't remind you how essential it is that we give him our undivided loyalty and support.
Hey, well, thank you. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you. Babyface has a 100% fresh rating from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes and an 81% fresh rating from the audience. And I am currently reviewing every movie that has a 100% fresh rating from the critics. This movie stars Barbara Stanwyck as Lily, George Brent as Cortland, and Teresa Harris as Chico. This is considered one of the greatest pre-code movies ever made. Pre-code was basically a time between 1920 and early 1934 where there were basically little to no censorship rules when it came to movies. So people who created movies, directors, writers, they had much more leeway when it came to sexual innuendo, prostitution, and infidelity. It was basically something that was done on a state level as far as censorship goes and not on a national level. So in this movie, Lily, who's played by Barbara Stanwyck, works with her father at a speakeasy. Now, of course, a speakeasy is a place that illegally sells liquor to people during Prohibition. So at the speakeasy, they would need high-ranking politicians on their side. They would need high-ranking officers on their side. So they would never be raided and never be shut down. You have to have high-ranking officials in your corner. In order to get these high-ranking officials in his corner, Lily's father decides to prostitute her out, starting at the age of 14. Now, Lily, now a grown adult, has decided that she is tired of being prostituted out, and when a high-ranking government official drops by to pay his visit to Lily, she decides that she is not going to sleep with him, and this, of course, makes him very angry. He goes to her father and says that your daughter refuses to let me rape her, essentially, so I'm going to shut down your speakeasy. Now, of course, the father, being the great father that he is, he goes to Lily and says, basically, you're a terrible daughter. This is something I need you to do for me so we can keep this thing going. Now, she refuses, and she says pretty much, I'm going to leave. I don't want to see you ever again. You're basically the worst father ever. Then a fire breaks out in the barn where the still is hidden, and when her father goes down to investigate, it blows up and he dies. Not very tragically, he dies. So after he dies, Lily states that she's going to take a job at a strip club that she was offered. She tells one of her dear and best friends this, basically the only male friend in her life that she trusts. He says that it is a bad idea to be a stripper. What you need to do is you need to use your looks to use men to get what you want instead of allowing men to use you.
That's what makes me mad with you. You're a coward. I mean it. You let life defeat you. You don't fight back.
What chance has a woman got?
More chance than men. A woman, young, beautiful like you, can get anything she wants in the world because you have power over men.
Now, of course, she thinks this is just a fantastic idea, so she decides she is going to go to New York and she is going to sleep her way to the top of an international bank. Now, she accomplishes this goal pretty well. She goes through about 4 or 5 layers of this bank, just sleeping with everyone left and right, back and forth. If someone's standing there breathing, she's sleeping with them, basically. She sleeps all the way up to a point when she goes out with this guy named Ned. Now, Ned is a up-and-coming executive at the bank, and he is engaged to the daughter of the first vice president. Now, Ned ends up falling in love with her, but she does not have those same feelings for Ned. In fact, it becomes an issue, their relationship, and someone complains to Ned's father-in-law, who basically is like the head honcho at the bank. Now, he says that he fires Ned, and he is supposed to fire Lily, but she uses her womanly wilds and not only convinces him not to fire her, but also she becomes his new girlfriend, and basically sugar daddy is what he becomes. And she ends up getting everything she could ever want. She lives in a very nice, nice apartment, very expensive apartment, and basically is living in the lap of luxury until one day Ned discovers where she is, and he goes up to the apartment to confront her. He tells her that he doesn't want to live if he can't have her, that he's going to kill himself, and he rushes into the room where his former father-in-law to be realizes that he is now the one dating Lily. So he ends up killing himself. Well, first, obviously, he kills his former stepfather to be, and then he kills himself in a murder-suicide.
I told you to get out of here.
Why, you...
After this happens, Lily decides that she's going to release a tell-all book about the many affairs that she had at the office, and she's being offered $10,000 for her story. The bank ends up hiring the third grandson of the former owner of the bank or something, someone in the family line of the bank who may not have the best qualifications but has name recognition. He invites her down to the bank, and they discuss. First, she says she wants $15,000 because she wants to just go to another country and start a new life and forget who she was here, and she thinks that $15,000 is going to do it. Now, at first, the board of directors is ready to give her this $15,000 so that it's kind of like a hush money payment. But the new bank president, who is like I said, the third grandson or whatever of the former owner, he kind of calls her bluff and says, hey, if you just want to get out of the country, instead of giving you all this money, we can just offer you a job at the Paris branch of our bank, and then you can start a new identity. If you need money to have a new identity, we'll give you what little money you need for that. But there's no real need for us to give you $15,000 here. So she agrees to take it because she's kind of backed into a corner here. And one day he goes to visit the Paris branch, and he's shocked to see that not only is she still there, but she's been promoted a few times while she was at this new branch of the bank. They end up going out on a few dates, and he ends up falling madly in love with her. He professes his love and asks her to marry him. She says yes, that she will marry him. And then once again, she is married into wealth because he, is the main head honcho of this bank. And now she once again is getting everything that she could ever want. He gives her bonds, he gives her stocks, he gives her cash. Basically, whatever she needs, he has for her. At the end of the movie, we learn that he has mismanaged the bank 3 ways to Sunday, which of course he did because he doesn't know how to run a bank. And then he is going to be let go by the officers of the bank. And for some reason, he's also being indicted. I'm not exactly sure why. I don't think the movie ever tells you why he's being indicted. They just tell you that he mismanaged the bank, which doesn't necessarily warrant an indictment. But I guess he did something else. So he runs to Lily and says, Lily, I'm being indicted. I need as much money as I can get. I need you to return your bonds, your stocks, your cash, everything I gave you. But don't worry, we're going to get through this together because we're married and we love each other. And she basically tells him no. She says, I can't give you all of my stuff because that will put me in a bad spot financially myself. So instead of helping you out, the person that I married, and give you all the stuff back that you gave me, I'm going to leave you and you're on your own. So she takes her maid / best friend Chico, and they start to board this ship where she's going to get away from everyone, go back to the United States. But her conscience starts getting the best of her, and she runs back to tell Cortland that she doesn't want to marry him. When she gets back, she notices that he has shot himself in the abdomen, but he's still alive. Then she professes his love to him, and at the end, it looks like they both got together and they lived happily ever after. Now, I will say this is not my favorite Barbara Stanwyck movie. Ball of Fire and The Lady Eve are much better. This movie is okay. I'm not used to seeing Barbara Stanwyck in this kind of role. Usually, if she's like a femme fatale, she is in a role with, it's like a cat and mouse type of love story where there's some sort of chase going on throughout the movie. But there's none of that really here. Even at the end of the movie, there's no real chase. There's no real cat and mouse. It's just like a girl who sleeps her way to the top, and then while sleeping her way to the top, she runs into someone who might actually be the love of her life and might actually give her fill in all the gaps that she's been missing since she was young. She does a great job in this movie, Barbara Stanwyck, and so does George Brent and Teresa Harris. They all do great acting jobs. Barbara Stanwyck is one of my favorite actresses of all time. She's just really so great in everything she's in. This movie, it hit me the wrong way. I think because it's her, and because I think that this kind of like prostituting yourself out and sleeping with everyone is below her as an actress. Now this was 8 years before she did Ball of Fire, and in this movie she actually claims that she is a ball of fire, so a little foreshadowing that she had no idea was going to happen. But this is one of her earlier movies, and I think that the movie choices she takes later on in life are better than this one. This movie just wasn't doing it for me at all. I like a strong female character, and I don't really want to say that I thought she was a strong female character throughout any of the movie, even when she was sleeping with other men. I mean, she's basically still giving them what they want. She's supposed to be using her looks to get what she wants. So yes, she is getting what she wants, but she's also giving them what they want. And I never really feel like she's in a huge position of power here. Now, at the end of the movie where she decides that she doesn't want to marry Ned, and he ends up killing himself and the guy who was going to be his father-in-law at some point, even then I don't feel like, she has psychological power over him, but I don't really feel like she is wielding that much power throughout the movie. I still feel like by giving herself up physically, that she's still losing some power over men. Like, you can't give a part of yourself like that intimately and not lose some sort of power. So I don't really think that the movie was trying to accomplished what it's trying to accomplish. But that being said, it's still a solid movie with great acting. I just had a problem with the plot in general. But cinematography is still right on point. It's shot very, very well. I love black and white movies. They're my favorite kind of movies just because of what you can do with lighting and scenery, and you have to use old style, special effects if you're using special effects and things like that. But yeah, I thought this movie was good. It's not her best movie. It's not her worst movie, but I give it an 8 out of 10. Thank you. I hope you join me next time when I review Young and Restless. Have a great day.